Hello, everyone. This is Jon Riki. Welcome to the Positive Master Show, where we talk about developing your mindset and passion projects to boost your happiness and counter any anxiety, sadness, or anger that you may be facing. Are you ready? Let's rock. My fellow positive makers, for episode 5, we're going to talk about sleep. Now, sleep is something that we need every single day, yet sometimes it's hard to get it, attain that 7 to 9 hours of sleep that us adults need to get. There's so many things that are beneficial to sleep. For example, our mood. When you get enough sleep, you feel much better, happier, more resilient to challenges that come your way, whether it be problems, events that cause problems, or negative people. And productivity, you got more clarity, you got more focus, you can put out more energy towards deep thinking, problem solving, those kind of things. And health, with health you get better heart rate, you got better rejuvenation, your skin is better. There's so much benefits to getting your rest because your body's recuperating, your cells are repairing itself. So those are 3 big things about sleep that's beneficial for us. And according to WebMD, it really depends on your age, and of course it also depends on you as an individual. But according to the WebMD, which I'll put a link in the show notes, infants ages 0 to 3 months need 14 to 17 hours a day. Infants ages 4 to 11 months need 12 to 15 hours a day. Toddlers 1 to 2 years old need about 11 to 14 hours a day. Preschool children ages 3 to 5 need 10 to 13 hours a day. School children ages 6 to 13 need 9 to 11 hours a day. Teenagers 14 to 17 need about 8 to 10 hours a day. And as I mentioned earlier, us adults, we need about 7 to 9 hours a day. But some people, depending on who you are, can go with less hours, or they may need more hours. It depends on yourself, on your body and your health and your mind. But for me, I know I need 7 hours for full optimization. Without it, I know I'm lacking in energy, I'm lacking in focus. My emotions can be challenged very quickly in comparison to when I'm well rested. So what I mean by well rested, if I go below 7 hours, let's say 6, I can function pretty well with 6, but I go below 6, that is so difficult for me. It's like I gotta put extra effort, extra focus, and just really conserve my energy so that the hard work is done at the right time. If not, I'm gonna lose the whole day. That's how challenging it is when I don't have enough sleep. And as I mentioned about the emotions, every time like you face a bad problem, if you don't have enough sleep, I feel like that problem is like a million times worse. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's like 10 times worse. And people who are negative, they really look negative. In fact, they look like ferocious. When you have enough sleep, those problems are like challenges. You can overcome them. I feel like I can push through. You got more optimism. And those negative people, you're like, brush them to the side. It's like, okay, they have a bad day, or maybe they're going through some issues. I got my thing. I'm going to keep myself positive. I got my group. I'm going to keep my tribe positive. That positivity, that shield that protects me, that's helping me through my sleep. So that's how very important it is to get that ample amount of sleep. And for you to find out what your optimal sleep hours are, you should do a test on yourself. I do journal or note taking to record my sleep every single day. In fact, I record it in my private journal, and I also record it in my friend's Discord server where we share our goals and our business ideas, and even in this case, my sleep or our sleep. Well, mostly me sharing my sleep, and also exercise and all these other things. That's good to have that accountability partner. But in another podcast, I'll describe more about the importance of having an accountability partner. But for this case, it helps for me to note take on that, so I can see the patterns and recognize where maybe I can iterate and adjust my schedule or my lifestyle or whatnot, so that I can get better sleep. So having that notes, having that friend or partner that can help you, to work on these goals of yours, can be beneficial. In my opinion, can be very beneficial to move forward and try and improve. Your friends and your family may have pointers that work for them as well. So sharing with them that, if you feel comfortable, will also help. And with your doctor, especially your doctor, I'm not a doctor. I'm a lay person as far as trying to optimize myself, but I do read psychology, psychiatry, some medical reports just to kind of get me aware of what's going on. But always consult your doctor when you're going to do certain changes to your lifestyle, and if you need certain tips as far as how your body is reacting to certain environmental impacts, or even medicine that you may be on right now that could be affecting your sleep. So there's so many things that could affect your sleep, but there's generally certain things that we know through studies and through reports that can help your sleep, not going into the medicines or not going into diseases. For this case, we're just talking about general strategy, general tips that can help us to get some better sleep. And it's a day-to-day thing. Some days you got to work late, some days you got long meetings and long events or something, so you adjust to each day. But in general, this is some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you that has helped me, and I'm still iterating and still changing and adjusting my own lifestyle to optimize my sleep. So as we move forward, or as I move forward, I am still changing up. I'm still changing my game plan. So keep that in mind with your life as well, that you got to adjust to your events and your surrounding factors. Work with your doctor, work with your health situation, and also look at the different strategies and adjust it. Like that, I'm always adjusting, even for my productivity. Everything I do, it's constantly being iterated depending on my situation day to day. So here we go. One of the most important things, and I learned this lesson from the get-go, is get a good bed. And my bed, when I first bought my place in my late 20s, I got a medium type of bed. I guess it's not high end or anything, but it's a decent bed. It was about $750. But I started getting backache, and I couldn't function because every day my back is sore, and I know it's the bed. And the thing is, no matter what side I would turn or whatnot, I would still get the backache. So I returned that bed and bought one for double the price. I think it was $1,500, but I've never had a back pain from sleep since. And every night, I feel like I'm floating because the bed is so good. The bed I got, I'm not sponsored by any of this, but the bed I got is Simmons, and it has pocket springs and foam between, so it's isolating the movement of the bed, and it also gives really good back support. And for me, I don't have the hard side, or I don't have the soft side as far as my choice of bed. Some people like plush or soft, and some people like hard. Even lying on hard ground, they love that. But for me, I'm in between, so I love the support, but I need some of that cushion. So I have that in between type of situation with my bed that for me it's perfect, but for you, for each person out there, it could be totally different. So keep that in mind. But I feel investing in your bed is super key. I feel like it's worth the investment, it's worth the money. So number one, I think invest in a great bed. Two is scheduling your sleep. And this can be challenging, especially when you have a career that changes up real quick. I used to be in politics, and um, after the work day, the night work goes on, and it's a different world from there. Like during the days, it's like office meetings. It's like reading, writing, hearings, meetings. That's when I was a politician. But at night, it's like reward ceremonies. It's community events. It's meetings and neighborhood board meetings. You got dinners. You got some business guys who want to meet you for some snacks or some late night beverages. It's just crazy. And then as a lawyer, same thing. There's that daytime work and there's that nighttime work. The daytime work is like your hearings, you go to court, you're working on your briefs, or you're drafting your memos and your letters, and you're doing research, case law, all kinds of stuff during the day. But at night, again, it changes up, and it depends where you are in your field. But you'll have your dinners, you have your meetings, you have like your associations, you have like different things that you got to do at night, and that affects your schedule. So for me, now that I'm older, I definitely look at that nighttime a little differently now, and especially after this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, it totally changed up a lot of us. It changed the way we looked at time. It changed the way we looked at social situations, because we can't socialize, right, with COVID-19. But it made us like look at scheduling much differently, and optimizing our thinking ability versus the social side of our business, like meetings and all that. It for me, it made me highly focused on that deep work, that alone time, and that putting in that deep work. And that's all I have, because there is no social events, there is no meetings, there is no like one-on-ones and group outings or group meetings or group whatever. So for me, having this ability to have this time to look at my schedule even more carefully, I took a look at my sleeping schedule, and I was doing some of the same habits. Like when I was working in offices and pre-COVID-19, I would find myself working at night a lot, because then I would have some quiet time. But then when you do that, you cut into your sleep, and when you cut into your sleep, then the next day it affects your focus, your energy, everything, like I mentioned earlier. But now with this time that we have, as far as deep work and not being distracted by a lot of events or social situations, I'm looking at my habits at sleeping, and I notice that I would still work at night. And I read this book by Cal Newport called Deep Work, and he said to have a wind down time, meaning after you're done with your workday, put in your time. And for me, I had to put it into my schedule to really wind down, to really rest. I mean, drop that project and just focus on not focus, but relax on something that you enjoy, something that can relax your mind and get your mind off of work. Because what I find is when I'm thinking of work, it really is affecting my sleep, my ability to sleep, because I'm getting anxious. I'm getting like worried about this or that about my work, or something that's due in the future, or a problem that I still have to solve. If we never put it down and put our mind off of it, how can our brain recuperate and how can our brain relax if all we do is constantly work? So having that downtime is key. And for me, you know, when I read that book, it was a big impact on me. It made me realize that, hey, you gotta schedule it in just as much you schedule work. You gotta schedule in your relaxed time, and the relaxed time leads to your sleep time. So you have a certain time that you want to go to sleep. Put in like couple hours or of relaxed time, where you don't think about work. You do something relaxing and or something enjoyable. So that's something I've done, whether it's reading a pleasurable book or maybe having some TV time on an interesting movie or documentary. To me, that gets me off of my work and it gets me more relaxed. So by the time it gets time for my sleep, I'm ready or more ready. I mean, it's not that easy where it happens all the time, but it helps. So that's one of the things I've been doing. And another thing is having a regular exercise throughout your day. I mean, not throughout your day, but at least one time in your day. For instance, like a 30-minute exercise, whether it be walking outside or taking a jog or a run, or maybe going to the gym. Like something that can kind of get you active and physically active, and do it about 5 hours before bed. Having that exercise can help make you tired by the time it comes to bed. So doing some type of exercise before bed, 5 hours before bed, can help. Fourth thing that I would like to bring up is taking a look at food and beverages when you consume it before bed. And I've been noticing, like, if I drink too closely to bed, or if I have too much caffeine before bed, I notice I have a hard time sleeping, or I get up in the middle of the night because I have to use the restroom because I drank too much or I had caffeine in my system. So I put out some research, and give or take, but I put in some research for myself that I use, and I put it into my calendar, and it's marked every single day in my calendar nowadays, because I was having this issue of waking up in the middle of the night. So I read up how caffeine or drinking too close to bed, or even eating too close to bed, can affect your sleeping. So give or take, and this is again, test it on yourself what works for you, because your body is different. And also talk to your nutritionist or your doctor, because I'm not a doctor, but this is kind of what I've been doing. So for beverages, I try to drink my last beverage at least 2 hours before bed if I can, or 1 to 2 hours before bed. If I gotta drink because I'm thirsty, I'll sip enough water till I feel hydrated, but not more than enough, because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night or having to use the restroom. So that's an issue that I've been having. So I've been looking at scheduling my drinking. As far as meals, they say have 3 hours between your meal and your sleep. So your digestive system can disrupt your sleep and whatnot. So that's another factor. Also, caffeine. I used to drink caffeine until like from morning to evening. I used to work at coffee shops, and coffee, refills. I'll just keep drinking more, and it's not good, because when you have too much caffeine, and this caffeine can stay in your system, I think up to 10 hours. You can cut it in half and try and stop your caffeine between 4 to 6 hours before bed. But if you want to be sure, you can try and cut your caffeine, just have caffeine in the morning and maybe up until the early afternoon. So for me, I put in my schedule to have caffeine until 2 p.m. And I feel like it's been helping. I don't have to use the restroom as much in the middle of the night now. I really think caffeine and drinking liquids before or too close to sleep was affecting me in that way. So I'm testing this out, and in the future I'll see how it goes. But I've been cutting out caffeine at 2 p.m. and I feel a lot better. I'm not as jittery. And coffee makes me more jittery than, let's say, green tea, because green tea has this L-theanine chemical that calms you. So it's a balancing um, chemical against the caffeine, whereas coffee doesn't have that. So coffee, I feel like I'm more jittery, and if I'm anxious, man, it can make me even more anxious. So I feel like coffee, and it has more caffeine in that drink than the tea itself. So I feel like coffee affects me a lot harsher. So I do love coffee though, and I do love green tea, but I know I have to be a little bit more careful with coffee. So if I do drink coffee, I make sure I try to have a little bit of tea with that L-theanine chemical inside, so it calms me. But having these caffeine drinks too close to bed can make it hard to sleep, and if you do sleep, you might wake up and have to use the restroom. Alcohol. Okay, so alcohol also can make you use the restroom, and although in the beginning it may make you, fall asleep faster, studies say that your REM sleep isn't too good when you drink alcohol. So you got some disruption in your sleep, your deep sleep, which is what you need. And also with alcohol, you can get dehydrated as well, get thirsty in the middle of the night as well. So for me, I put down have my last alcoholic drink 4 hours before bed if I do drink alcohol. So those are some things I'm working on as far as food and beverages to try and optimize my sleep. You may want to test it out on yourself and change it up. Have a journal and keep track of your sleep every single day to see how it's going, and adjust things that I mentioned earlier or even after this to see how it affects you in as you schedule your sleep. Next is create a relaxing and wind down routine, which I mentioned about earlier. For me, I really enjoy reading books. Um, with my phone, lights is, which I'll talk about later, is not good, right, for your eyes when you're trying to go to sleep. But with a regular book, paper book is good, or a hardcover book is good. But I hear these Kindles are really good because the lighting is really calming. So if you have something like that, then I can see using that to read a book before you sleep. And another thing I like to do is listen to relaxing music. For some reason, piano music is really comforting for me. So I've been playing really soft piano type of music before bed, and it gets me into that soft and peaceful, mood. Also with the lighting, what I do is I turn off my lights and I use indirect lights, meaning not harsh lights shining onto me, and not bright lights. I use dim lights with lampshades, and I also have indirect lighting, meaning lighting is not shining directly on me, it's shining under something or to the side of something. For example, I have these RGB lights, which is green, red, blue, that you can adjust. It's very smart technology type of lights where you can connect it to your phone, your smartphone, and adjust the hues or the color tones. And you could make different colors with it using the red, blue, and green. You can make purple, you can make pink, and all kinds of colors. So I use these indirect lighting to set the mood, to keep the environment in a nice, calming, you know, welcoming location for me. And I have these RGB lights under my desk, so when I work, if I have to work, I use those lights rather than the overhead lights. I hardly ever use overhead lights unless I need to, like cooking in the kitchen, for example, or maybe if I have to take a shower and I need to see everything what I'm doing in the shower. But honestly, I have these these lights. My dad gave me this light that's a night light that is censored. So if I move into or walk into the restroom, this blue light goes on. And I can also turn it on with a switch so that I don't, it's not relying on sensor, right? So I have this switch that can keep it on, and it's bright enough for me to take a shower in there or get ready to go to sleep. It's bright enough, but if I need to do like certain detailed things, then I gotta turn the overhead light in the restroom. But for most things, I can 80 to 90% of the things I need to do in the restroom, I can do. I can take a shower in there with this blue light on, or I can brush my teeth in there. So I feel like having that calming light that's not bright in the restroom, starting from the time that it gets dark, in my house, helps me to set my my rhythm of trying to go to sleep, or my mentality or my mindset in trying to go to sleep. It sets me in that mood. So that's something I do. And also for the lights, I have a timer on my phone and my computer so that the monitors turn into a very warm color, so it's not harsh and bright with the blue light. It's a warmer light, so it's like more comfortable. So I have a timer on all my technology equipment so that the lights are all dimmed down and warmer for my, if I gotta do some work or if I gotta do some reading with those devices. Temperature. So comfortable temperature is another key thing. And they say 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit is the temperature range that's good for our body, because our internal temperature shifts during a 24-hour period. Our body cools down, and it hits a very low point, I believe, near daybreak. So having this comfortable temperature in your room is helpful to falling asleep. And to save money, I had an air conditioner that broke down, and for a while I wasn't using it because I was trying to save money. But you know what, I got another air conditioner, and for the extra $30 a month I'm spending on energy costs, I feel it's worth it, because I'm getting a good night's sleep and I'm able to be more productive and happier throughout my day. So to quantify that payment is worth it. I'm happy about it. And to save costs, it's hard to put a price on being happier and being more productive. So I feel it's worth it. But for you, look at what temperature works for you. I live in Hawaii, so it gets hot here during the summer, and air conditioning is really helpful to help me fall asleep. And just being able to be cozy under your bed sheets and be comfortable like that, it's so helpful. So there you have it. These are my tips for sleeping better. 1, get a good bed. 2, schedule your sleep into your calendar. 3, get some exercise in the day, at least 5 hours before bed. 4, have your meals and your beverages several hours before you sleep. Play with what works for you. Test it out. Change up the hours, shorten it or lengthen it to optimize your sleep. 5, create a relaxing wind down routine. 6, avoid bright lights. And 7, have a very comfortable temperature when you sleep. I know there's a lot more strategies we can do for sleeping, and I'll test out more as we move forward. And most likely I'll have a part 2 for this sleep subject, because it's so important. But anyway, I really hope you guys get some good sleep and try it out. Try these different strategies. Maybe one of them might help you out to have a better sleep. And talk to your family, your friends, what they do to have better sleep, and your doctor and your nutritionist to see how your body can be optimized. Because every all of us is different, but these are general tips that I picked up or did some research on from health websites that are helpful for many people, and I've been trying it out and iterating, and it seems to be helping me, and I'm always changing it up no matter what, and day to day, every day is different, so our strategy has to adjust to our daily schedule. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast episode. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Feel free to visit the Positive Masters universe at www.positiveMasters.com, where we share mindset practices, motivational writing, and poetry. We also have an e-commerce store with apparel and accessories that have designs and mantras to motivate you to maintain a positive mindset. Stay tuned, because in the future we will have courses to develop your mindset, as well as courses to develop your passion projects into your passion business. I'd like to leave you with a song from Artlist, which I'm an affiliate with. If you like their music, I have their link in the show notes. You can use Artlist's music personally or for your business. My fellow positive makers, until next time, keep developing your mindset, keep working on your passion projects, and keep spreading positivity. I love you guys.